Okay, so let's try this again, shall we? Because my computer decided that it wasn't cooperating at all, so I have to reboot the whole system. And that was fun. Not really. But I apologize for the inconvenience, and I think we're back. We're good. Yeah, I see green everywhere. So we're good. Yeah, we're good. Again, I'm so sorry. I should have checked the connection. It was on me. I should have checked the speed, the upload speed before going live, and that's something that I'm going to do always from now on. But yeah, apparently it was my computer. Hello, Virgil, back again. Hold on, let me bring the chat window up. Click in here, click. Oh, all of this I had ready before the stream, but now I have to do it all over again. Okay, but at least I'm sorry, all of this I had ready before the stream, as I said before, but now I just have to redo everything. But looks like we are good, and if everything goes well and I click here. Hello, Virgil, thank you for being patient in these troubled times. It's always a gamble, unfortunately, with the Windows 11 and connection speeds and everything else. But yeah, let's get over with and keep going. I'm gonna open my VS Code again. Actually, I have it open. So for those of you who were here and couldn't hear a word of I was saying, so first of all, we covered a lot last week. Let me show you my notes. Last week, we did a lot. We covered creating a clinic resource, modifying the user resource, pet resource, schedule resource, and that's where we ended up. So this week, we're moving on to the appointment resource. Because first of all, last week we made modifications so that the doctors don't have, or the admins, well, doctors and admins don't have to schedule or create schedules for every single date, because it was based on date. Instead, we use day of week, and we did that last week. So now in the appointment resource doesn't know about this, so it's still filtering the doctors and the doctor's schedules by date. So we need to change that. And we also need to add the drop down for the clinic so that we can assign an appointment as an admin to a specific clinic. So that's what we are doing. That's what I was doing before everything broke. So yeah, what I did while a while ago was I went to the schedule resource and brought the clinic dropdown and put it in the appointment resource. So I have that. Now we need to actually filter the doctors in the dropdown by, not by the date, but by the schedule's day of week. So what I'm going to do is, I already have access to the date via get date, so I'm going to turn that date into a day of the week, and then filter the schedule by that day of the week. So let's see. We're gonna use Carbon for this. So let's say Carbon, eliminate support Carbon. What was that? support. Oh, am I importing it twice? Or do I have another carbon? Yeah, I do have another carbon instance here, and I don't need that. What I want is the illuminate support carbon. That is from Laravel. Well, they're both the same, but I prefer this one. So let's go down right here, and let's say carbon parse get date, and on that I'm going to call day of week, and that's just a property, and I need to assign that here to day of the week. And then I'm going to filter not by date, but by day of week. Like so. So day of the week. So that should give us only the doctors who have schedules on that day of the week, based on the date that they selected on the calendar. But also we need to filter that by the clinic ID, because we only want to see doctors on one clinic. But first, let's make sure that the day of the week filter works. So save that, and I'm constantly looking at my stream now. I'm paranoid. Let's go back to the browser, which I don't have open anymore. New window. Oh, I have to start the server again. Jeepers creepers. You don't need to see this. Still, I'm gonna zoom in, enhance. Start the server. Localhost 8000 and admin. Not that. Now let's go to appointments, and let's create a new one. And we do have schedules for one doctor, which is Jane Doe, on Sundays. So if I click here, and she's from Pet Clinic New York, if I'm not mistaken. But this one is not going to affect, I think. If we select, and she has appointments on the previously, it was only working when I selected the 17th, which was the date that she has schedules. So if I select if I select 24, then I should see Jane Doe. Yeah, perfect. Now we're working with day of the week, so she works on Sundays. Now let's go back to schedules, because I do want to test it on another day of the week. So let's create a new schedule. We need to remove this date from here, by the way. We'll do that next. Salt Lake City, John Doe. Let's say he works on Mondays. And the first slot, let's just create one at maybe 9. Ooh, that was weird. 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Date field is required. All right, have it your way. Whatever. Sunday, I don't care. Yes, date is still selected. Date is still a required field, but we are going to fix that in just a second. We don't need dates anymore. We have day of the week. So yeah, we still have some modifications to do on that panel. Thank you, Virgil. So good to see you here, by the way. I missed you last week. How was your week, by the way? How was your week? How was your weekend? Are you having a great day? I hope so. I have to slow down. I feel like I'm talking way too fast, and I think it was because of the whole debacle of the first minutes. So that got me a little bit nervous. So I have to breathe, relax. Everything is fine. Virgil is here. He's with me. I have support. So yeah, we have a schedule. We have a schedule for John Doe on Monday. So if we go back to appointments, try to create a new one for Salt Lake City on any Monday. I'm just say 25th. Yeah. We are cooking with gas. Select, well, this doesn't work because there should be only one schedule. And I think we're seeing both schedules. Yeah, this one's for the doctor that I have selected, but this other one is for Jane Doe. So let's change that. Day of the week multi-select. Yeah, well, yeah. That's a good idea. Because, yeah, maybe I have the same slots for every day of the week. That's a great idea. Let me check. When you go to schedules in Jane Doe Monday, John Doe. Yeah, we should make this a multi-select. But then again, yeah, if we do that, then I have to make sure that, because right now the table works with one day of the week, one slot. So that's how it's currently working. So if I want to make this a multi-select, I would have to run through every day of the week that I selected and create the same slot for that day of the week. We'll see if we can get to that. But yeah, it's definitely a good idea. Deb Jeet is in the house. Thank you, man, for being patient. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. How was your week? How is your day? How is your weekend right now? Are you doing good? I hope so. Thank you for being here. You can easily make a schedule by selecting multiple days. Yeah. Like I said, it's going to take a little bit of work on the background because, yeah, right now, every slot record has a day of the week. Sorry. I believe that's how it worked. Or was it? Let me double check because I tend to forget. Maybe I put the day of the week in the schedule, not the slot, but the slots are... Let me check. Let me double check just to make sure. Let's check the model actually. App models, appointment, pet slot ID description. How about the slot? Start and end. Where did I put the day of the week? I think I put it in appointments actually. If that's the case, database migrations. No, this was just for the... I only added... Maybe it wasn't scheduled. day of the week. So yeah, put it on schedule. But now then it's a little tricky. If I make it a multi-select, that means that I would not only have to create a schedule for, let's see. Go back to create a schedule. Since this day of the week is tied to the schedule record, I would have to then duplicate this same schedule record for that same clinic, for that same doctor, for every selected day of the week with the current slot, which is not a big deal, to be honest, because that's the intention. If I'm selecting multiple day of the weeks, that's for the same doctor and the same clinic. So that's the intention. So yeah, it's doable. It just requires probably a loop after create, so that after I create the first record, I then go and loop through the days of the week all of the days of the week that were selected and create extra schedules. It's doable. It's a great idea. Let's finish with the appointments first so that we can actually create appointments, and then I'll come back to this. And let's make a note for that as well. No, don't worry about it. It's actually a great idea, because if without that, you would have to create a schedule for every day of the week. So create one, or click create and create another, and then fill everything again, etc. So this actually makes it easier for the user, and a better user experience. It's always worth it, no matter how difficult it is for the developer. All right, so let's quickly go back to the appointment resource and fix that slot dropdown, so that it only shows the slots, the available slots for the current doctor selected. So appointment resource, let me check on the slot ID. So the relation, we are doing a relationship, and then we are filtering by, we're getting a doctor. We're getting the doctor selected on the dropdown. Well, that should work. Why is that one? Why is this not working? Belongs to doctor. That's interesting. Let me check again. So appointment, new appointment. And then select a clinic. Let's say Salt Lake City. Select a Monday. And that gives me John Doe. So if I select John Doe, I should only see John Doe's. Okay. Maybe John Doe does have another schedule somewhere. But not on Mondays. Oh, okay. So no, that's Jane Doe. John Doe only has one schedule for Monday. Does he have any other schedules any other day of the week? He doesn't. So that doesn't make sense. Return statement. Am I missing a return statement? You mean here? No, and when you're doing a modify query using, you don't actually need to return the query back. That's automatically done for you because you're modifying the query builder here. So yeah, you know there is no need for a return statement here. What's throwing me off is that it should use the doctor selected on the drop down to filter the schedules by doctor. And it's giving me Jane Doe's as well. Let me do a quick test here. I cannot return the doctors in this case. Well, maybe I can. Let's try this. Let's do DD, and I'm going to use that query and just get me the results right there and then. See what happens with that. No such column slot schedule ID. What are you talking about? Well, that's weird. Okay, that didn't work. Let's do it on Tinker. So all I'm doing is I'm getting a doctor based on the doctor ID selected. So let's quickly go into a terminal here. And cd into pet clinic and php artisan Tinker. So if we do, let's see all the doctors. Wait a minute. No, yeah, that's fine. For a moment I thought that I was selecting more than one doctor based on their roles, but no, that's not happening. I'm filtering the schedules by day of the week, but I'm already selecting one doctor on the dropdown, so that should be okay. So let's say doctor. Let me see all the doctors. I want to see their IDs. So doctor all. It's not doctor, it's user. Let's do this. Doctor role. Where name doctor. So this should give me only the doctor role. And it did. So now I do user where belongs to doctor role get. That's gonna give me two of them, but that's fine. All I need is the ID for... No, that wasn't good. What? Called a new collection. What's going on here? Bugger. Let's just go with user all. So John Doe here is ID 2. So if I do, in this case, doctor equals to user find 2, that gives me John Doe. And down here in the slot, I'm modifying the relationship slot on modifying the slot on the appointment model. So if I do appointment, and I'm actually creating one record, so how do we do this? Let's do slot. I think it's not the doctor itself, but the schedule. Where belongs to doctor is still, I mean, where has, this is really weird. Schedule, that should be a callback function. Illuminate database query builder query. And in here, I have to use doctor. Well, maybe I don't have to. Let's try this. So let's say query where belongs to, and here I can do user find 2, which is the record that I'm looking for, and the relationship name is owner. Close bracket and close parentheses. Yeah, I wasn't expecting. Argument 1 query must be of type Illuminate database query builder. What did I provide? Illuminate database. Oh, okay. Really? Illuminate database query. Do I have to do this instead? Do I have a typo and I'm not seeing it? Why is it saying that I'm doing Illuminate database eloquent builder? How about this? Huh? Okay, kind of worked. And problem is I didn't do get. Why is it giving me 2? slot 8 and slot 10. Schedule ID 8 and 6. Okay. Schedule where we're in. Let's do where. Let's check both individually. Where schedule ID 6. Right. It's not schedule ID, it's just ID. Okay. Okay, all right. So that's a problem. See this? He does have a schedule, but the day of the week is no. So that's a leftover from after we did the changes. So shouldn't it then, we should filter this slot by the day of the week as well, not just by the doctor, but the day of the week. I probably wasn't gonna do it because we already selected a doctor based on the day of the week. Day of the week null shouldn't happen based on the user ID. Rick, how you doing, my man? How was your week? How was your weekend? I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. They are both on the same day, right? But one of them, it has a day of the week null. That's why it's showing up. So yeah, they are both for the same day, but the reason I wasn't seeing them in the schedule resource is because the day of the week was null. And that is what was throwing me off. Correct. But this is the problem when you go to the schedules and you select Monday. I should have been seeing 2 records here, but because of the day of the week was null, I'm only seeing 1, and that's the thing that was throwing me off, because Jane Doe on Sunday has a schedule. Well, that was 8 a.m. 8:30. I think this is the same. If I go back, so yeah, I was getting confused because yes, they are both on the same day, but the one that has the day of the week as null had the same start and end date as Jane. So I thought that maybe I was showing the record for both doctors, but no, I was showing schedules. I was showing slots for just one doctor, but one of them had a day of the week null on the schedule record. So that's the problem. So technically, since that is not supposed to happen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that wrong record. So this will be, let's call it S. I'm not concerned about naming here. And I'm just going to remove that. Because we shouldn't have schedules without days of the week now that we have made all the modifications, so that when the day of the week is now required when you're creating a schedule. So but the problem is when I created the migration, since I didn't want to wipe the database clean, I added the column as nullable with the intention of make it not nullable once all of the records had a day of the week. So that's the intention in the future. For now, I'm just going to have another error. Oh, this is a collection. Should have done find instead. How about that? Okay, cool. Now, when I go back to appointments, new appointment, clinic, Salt Lake City, on Monday, for John Doe, there is only one schedule, and that's the intended behavior. Sorry I took you into this long way just to find out that it's just a leftover from the previous week. So I have the slot ID there. Question is, should I make sure, even though in schedules, when you create a new schedule, well, the day of the week is not required. So let's make it required so that I don't have to go and add another filter and filter the slots by doctor and by day of the week. And I'm just filter them by doctor because the doctor dropdown is filtered by day of the week. So I don't have to worry about the slots dropdown as well. So let's make this day of the week required and forget about it. And later on, we can just make sure that it is always required by going back to the migration and change that field to not nullable. So let me close appointment, slot models. Let's go to schedule resource, clinic ID, no. Owner ID, nope. Day of the week, required. Good. Okay, let's keep working on appointments now. What else do we need to do? Oh, okay, so let's just make sure that Salt Lake City, Monday. Let's just make sure that when we change the value of one of the dependent dropdowns, that everything works. For example, if I change the clinic, everything should go back to what it was. It wasn't. Slot ID is still has a value. So when I change the date, when I change the, did I change the clinic? So that changes date to null. And it worked on doctor. But it didn't on slot ID. Probably because the doctor did not change value. It did. If I'm setting the date null here, so the date changes and that changes doctor to null. And since that changed, it should have set the slot ID to null. I'm not sure why I didn't. Choose Monday again. But now it did. Maybe let's just make sure. Let's just go to the clinic. And when I change the clinic, I'm going to set both date and doctor as null. Yeah, let's do that. Let's turn this into a proper function. So let's add one more line to set the doctor to null as well. See if that fixes the issue. Now I'll go back to clinic and change that. All right, that's better. Everything goes back to null. And if I select Monday again, now I just have, well, just select Sunday for a different doctor. Jane Doe. Perfect. Okay. And if I choose the pet and then description, should be able to create one. Good. I'm going to delete this row here because for some reason doesn't have the owner, the date and time, and it's probably again leftover from the changes last week. So I'm going to go and remove that. I can't delete an appointment, I can just cancel it. So I'm going to do it directly in Tinker or in the database. And that'll be ID number 1. So can I just do it like this? Or does it always want an array? About find and then delete. Good. All right. I think that's good for appointments, isn't it? Let me double check. Oh my God. Have I not been sharing the screen all this time? Have you guys not? That's weird. Did I somehow I pressed F1 at some point and did I change screens? What happened? I caught a glimpse of myself in my streaming software, and it was just me. If I wasn't, I apologize. Just in case, basically the changes that I've been doing so far, I don't know for how long I wasn't sharing the screen, but I just turned this into a proper function. It used to be just date, but if I change that if I just set the date to null, the slot ID, it keeps showing up. So instead I set the date and the doctor to null every time I change a clinic, and that cascades to all of the dropdowns and all of them disappear, and then I have to select another date. And when I do, that shows me only the doctors for that date who has schedules based on the day of the week. And if I select one of the doctors, that gives me all of their schedules for that day of the week. Is there anything else that I have to do in appointments? Well, other than the suggestion from Virgil to make the day of the week multi-select, but that's on schedules. And I will add a log for appointments. Sorry. I will add a log for the doctors on the appointment resource. So let's say if I click on an appointment, I should be able to add logs to appointments, like adding what happened on that appointment so that the doctor can have a log of events for this appointment. And I'm probably going to create a table for that and add that as a relation manager. Probably add a tab up here. or somewhere that we can switch to between edit the appointment details and also the logs. But I'll do that after. For now, this should be good. I think the clinic was already live. Is it? Yeah, it was already because I copied it from the schedule resource. This is done too. Doctor select input. We worked on that as well. We scoped that to did we scope that to clinics? Let me check. So the doctor select. Well, no, we are not doing that. So technically, if another doctor had schedules, well, yeah, if another doctor had a schedule on that day of the week, and actually let me show you what's going to happen. So if I go to appointments, not appointments, sorry, schedules. Let's say on Sunday, we also have a schedule for the other doctor. So I create new schedule and I have to remove this. I have to remember. Let's actually do that right away. But for that, I'll have to remove the column probably. Yeah. Because right now it's not nullable and it's required. So I'd rather just delete the column right away. So let's make a new migration. PHP artisan make migration update. Take this to another line. Update schedule table. Remove date column. So here I'm going to do, I wish I had scaffolded this. So schema, let me copy it from another one. Copy this, put it here. Updates table schedule, and here I'm going to do drop column. Date, and just to be consistent, I'm going to recreate the column if we had to roll back. So that can be in create appointments table, not appointments, schedules. Take this column from here and put it in the rollback. Just in case. Again, wish I had scaffolded this. So schema table schedules function blueprint table All right, that should do it. So this is going to the, I'm curious if it's going to complain about it. So PHP artisan migrate. No, we're good. Now all we have to do is go back to the resource. And remove the date. Let's see if we have to do something in the model. You are no longer required to be casted. So that's good. Let's see. All right, that's gone. Clever Tech Dude, how you doing, my man? How was your week? I hope you had a great week, and thank you for coming to the stream. It's been an interesting one, to be honest. It's I had a complete meltdown on the beginning. My connection was just not working, so I have to reboot the whole system, and it was so fun. But yeah, other than that, we're doing great. So as I was saying, since we're not filtering the doctors on the appointments by day of the week or clinic, I don't remember. Let me open it again. Appointment resource. Yeah, I mean, it's life. The only constant in life is that nothing is certain. Am I right? So we are in appointment resource, and currently I'm filtering the doctors by only day of the week, but not the clinic. And we added a clinic dropdown. So I should be filtering by clinic here. So technically, if there is a schedule on the same clinic for another doctor, it's going to show up there. And that's what I'm trying to correct. And just so that you see what I mean, let's say Pet Clinic New York. Yeah, Pet Clinic New York. Jane Doe. On Mondays, let's say 1 p.m. Okay, 10. So on Mondays, we do have schedules for both Jane and John Doe. But one of them is on New York and the other one is in Salt Lake City. If I go to appointments, create new appointment, and select, let's say, Salt Lake City, which should give me only one doctor for Monday, but it's giving me two. So let's fix this. So here I'm grabbing the day of the week and I'm filtering day of the week on the schedule, and the schedule has a clinic ID as well. So let's grab this, move it down here, and let's also say where clinic ID get clinic ID. So we're grabbing the value that we selected up here in the clinic ID, and we are filtering the schedules of that doctor for both day of the week and clinic ID. So now if I refresh and select Salt Lake City on Monday, I should have only John Doe. Perfect. And I only have there his slots, and pet is required, obviously. All right, good, we're good. I think we are pretty much done with appointments. So scope for clinic, filter by day of the week, that's done. Filter by day of the week as well. Schedules, day of the week. Oh, yeah. We are filtering by day of the week, clinic and doctor, but not, well, let's see how, by what are we filtering the slots. We are filtering the slot schedule by doctor only. But we should also filter by clinic. We don't need to do this here. We can just use get in this function, and then here we can do where, not when, where clinic ID get clinic ID. This is just in the eventuality, or the in the case that yes, we are filtering by the same doctor, but what if that doctor also has appointments in another, or works in another clinic and has appointments there and has schedules there, actually just schedules. So if the same doctor works on 2 clinics and has schedules on those clinics, this will prevent me from seeing those schedules for the other clinic, right? And since what happens, well, the thing is, I don't know if I want to filter by day of the week here as well, because I'm already filtering the doctors by day of the week. So technically I'm only seeing the schedules for the day of the week that I selected, because that is the only doctor that the only doctor that I can see. So yeah, let's just filter by clinic ID. That's the only breaking issue that I can see as of now. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. What else? So that's done. Filter schedule by day of the week. Well, apparently I have to. If I made a note for it, I probably have to. So let's just be safe and do it. What can possibly be wrong? The only thing that I have to do is say where day of week is equal to get day of week. Well, I don't have a day of week here, so in order to do that, I have to go and do the same thing that I did here. I'm going to copy this. And let's do it out here. Day of the week, parse the date and get the day of the week, and then I can pass it in here. Into this function, and then use it here. Murphy's Law, of course. What can be wrong will go wrong. And I was getting complacent, to be honest, because which one is this? 7th stream never had an issue in the past 6 streams. This one, for some reason, everything goes wrong. Yeah, I was getting complacent. I was getting just confident that everything will always go as planned every single time. Never gonna happen. Maybe you could just extract and call a method somewhere called available slots for clinic ID, doctor ID, day of the week. Huh. Yeah, that's a good idea. You know what? Yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe we could clean that up. We could clean all of this up. By having just that on. It could even be on the slot model. I'm gonna try that. I'm so eager to get to the doctor's panel, but yeah, it keeps improvements keep getting on the way. Not on the way. I mean, it's always good to improve and rework your code. This stream you didn't promote my Discord? Funny you say that, because I did promote it on the past stream that I had to scrape. But yeah, let's promote. Let's promote. I had a link and everything, and I had it as a pinned comment, but yeah, everything went to crap. Let's just put it here, send it out, and pin it at the top. There you go. You are all invited. All this line code, very hard to look at. Yeah, you're not wrong. I've been so focused on the functionality so that the front end looks and works as expected, that I've been just spitting code into the resource. That, yeah, it's getting a little bloated. And you know what it doesn't help? It has no comments at all. Because I'm doing it all in stream, I'm not worried about adding or commenting my code, which should be something that I have to do. Which should be something that I do. Because even for myself, I'm going to come back a month, 2 months later and watch this code, and I probably have to remember, what was I doing here? What was the purpose? So yeah, commenting the code is something that I've been neglecting. So before I upload all of this code later today, I'm going to add comments to it. And let's add a note here. Things that we need to do: rework, schedule, resource, abstract, available slots to model. All right, noted. We'll go back to that. Promise. Thank you, Amit, for your absolutely fantastic comments. Available slots can just be a simple service class. Could be, yeah. But in my mind, I don't know why I go, well, it's something that the slots do, it's always a choice. You can rather put it in a model or make a service for it. Since I just see that as just one function, I don't. Maybe there will be. My gut reaction would be to put it on the model, because that's just one thing that I'm going to probably use once on the schedule resource, and maybe on the doctor schedule resource, so maybe 2 places, but it always does the same. And if at some point we have more things to add to the schedule, to the slot, then I probably move that to a service. But right now my first reaction would be to put it on the model, because it's just one thing that I'm going to do in several places, and it's related to the slot. So I would my mind immediately goes, well, it's a slot thing, should probably be on the slot model. So let's do that. Let's put it on the model first, and if I have even one more thing that the slot has to do, that I have to put it in another function in the model, I'll take that out and put it as a service. I normally clean up if everything is working. Yeah, that's also my first. That's also my thing. I initially do make sure that everything is working, and then I do the rework. But since we're on a stream, I mean, it's always important to not always do what you do every single time. Show people how to rework as well. So I'm going to try to do that too. Schedule available slots works too. Yeah, but not even that works too. But my thought would be to make it a static function on the slots model, so that when I use it, for example, let's say this is the slot ID. Instead of using a modify query using and doing a relationship here, you know what the problem would be if well, maybe not a problem. No, it wouldn't be a problem. I was thinking if instead of using relationship, I do options. And this takes also a function. And here I can do slots get available, something like that. And then I pass, what is it, all of the things that I have to filter by: the clinic ID, the day of the week, and the doctor. I just pass them here. And that I would just make sure that I return a collection with an ID and name, so that the options in the select works as expected. But that looks a lot better, in my opinion. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm actually going to comment that here, and then do a to-do here. Of course, no problem. See you, my friend. Thank you for coming, actually. Go ahead. Just watch the replay. Thank you. Have a great day, by the way. Red Duane. Greetings from Morocco. Hi, my friend. How you doing? How's your day? What have you been up to? Thank you for coming to the stream. You have no idea what a fun stream this has been. And I mean that. I don't say that sarcastically. It has been a lot of fun. So, going back to my notes, I was going to... Did I already filter that by day of the week? I think I did. Hello, Ivan. How are you doing, my friend? Thank you for coming to the stream. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So yeah, I'm filtering the slots by day of the week. So that's done. And I probably just need to add the clinic ID column to the table. We don't have one, do we? Probably not. Nope, we don't. And we also need to get rid of... Actually, let's just get rid of this date column because we don't need it anymore. And then add the clinic ID. Where could it be? Clinic, doctor, time. Yeah, let's put it between description and owner, which should be doctor. So appointment resource. Let me close a few tabs. Let's add a label to the owner. And let's call it doctor. And then let's add another column. And this is going to be for clinic name. The label will be clinic. I do want it searchable and I do want it sortable. Not showing anything. We do have a relationship, don't we? Appointment, clinic. Yeah, we do. Oh, I know what the problem is. Since we didn't add the clinic ID in the fillable field, then those are null. In fact, let me double check that to make sure. Yep, there you go. Clinic ID, no. We can always edit it, right? So let's go back and edit this one. Clinic ID, New York. Probably have to select everything again. Dr. Jane Doe, slot. Everything else stays the same. Save changes. There it is. And this is for John Doe. So clinic is Salt Lake City. Date. Let's also do Monday. Everything else stays the same. Save changes. And boom. There we have it. Maybe not a group, but just a filter. We haven't seen filters so far. We should have a filter up here to just filter by clinic. Groups works as well, but then this table is already a little too messy. So I'd probably just prefer a filter for clinic. Making a note. Thank you for the suggestion, by the way. All right. If I'm not mistaken, we are kind of done with the appointment resource for now. We do have some more suggestions to it, but I desperately want to go back to the doctor panel and bring back multi-tenancy there, because I took it back and I was supposed to add it last week. I didn't have time, so I do want to just take the time to go in, add multi-tenancy, and at least add a couple of resources to it, because there is another thing that I want to show you is that when we have resources for the doctor panel, I only want the doctor to see his own resources, not resources for, not schedules for any of the other doctors or any of the other appointments. So let's just take time to go through that, and then when we're done with that, we'll move on to all of the fantastic suggestions that you people are giving me. When you're editing the appointment, can you show the doctor's name on the top header above? What do you mean? Let's see. When you're editing appointments, why am I not showing the date here? That's another problem. Oh, right. Because we're using day of the week now. Okay, apparently we're not done with this. Yeah, you mean showing it here, like in the title, instead of just showing it in like the actual field where the doctor is here? You can probably do that, but that would require, if I change the doctor, for example, in the, because that is a feature here for the admin, that I can go in and change everything, including the doctor. So then I'll have to make sure that whatever label I put in the top changes as well. So I don't know. It add context. We can try it out. If it adds more work than it deserves, then we can decide what to do. Okay, so let's fix this first, because the date is not does not have a default value, and that's because we don't have a date anymore. We have a day of the week. So let's go back to appointment resource and date. Let's look for the date field here. We should be able to call the default value, or the default. Am I allowed to make it? I probably am allowed to call a function here. Do we need a big function, or just, let's try this. Let's try just a shorthand function, because what I want to do is no, I need a big function. What I want to do is not set a default if the context is create. So if we are creating a new appointment, I don't need the default value, but if the context is edit, then I do need to grab the value from the record, the day of the week, and turn that into a date. I think that's the default now is always the case when you're using a datetime picker. It's always the current date. So I don't need a default in that case. But I do need one here. I don't remember if I can inject the context here. Let me just go back to the documentation and check. Where was that? It was on Form Builder, I believe. Actions, actually. Okay, form component action, utility injection, inject utilities. I'm just bouncing all over the place. Okay, so here it is, injecting the current state. That's not what I need. The component, the livewire component, the model, I probably need that. The get, set, inject, there it is, injecting the current form operation, which is going to be either edit or create. Create, edit, or view. All right, so I do need this. I do need the operation, and I also need the model. Because I can't use state, by the way, because the date column does not exist in the model. So I do need the model to get the day of the week. So instead of model, I can do appointment model. Is it model or record? Record. Oh, and just so you know, if by any chance you haven't seen the Latacast from the creator of Filament, Dan Herring, all of these injections are dependent on the name of the parameter. So if you name it, even if you inject it as, if you type hinted as appointment, but you call it state, then that's going to be a problem, because the state refers to the value of the field or the state of the field that is tied to the livewire component. So you actually have to call it record, and that way Filament knows that you want the model record for this resource. So it's always dependent on the name, even operation, record, all of the injections that you see here. You can even omit the type hinting in this case, just by calling it component or calling it state, livewire, record, get, set, etc. Filament will know what you want based on the name of the parameter. I'll get to your comments in a question. I'll get to your question in a moment. Wow, I totally forgot how to talk. Let me just finish this real quick. So default operation, we need the appointment record. So here I can do, how can I turn a day of the week into a date? Let's see if the carbon documentation has anything about that. Well, carbon parse. How can I turn a number, which is the day of the week, into an actual date? I actually don't know. Yeah, it should be, right? There should be a carbon function. Let me go to carbon PHP. Let's check that documentation real quick. So it'll be on, sorry about the light, about the white. Fluent setters, weeks. Yeah, but carbon parse, wouldn't that be, let me just try it actually. Thing is, if I do, let me clear, oh, there's a cable on the way. So let me clear this. Let's say, sorry, have carbon. Can I do carbon parse? Parse. What I have right now in the model is just a number, right? It's just a day of the week. So let's say Monday is, if I do carbon parse 0, that's gonna give me an error. So I need a way to take that 0 and turn it into a date. So I don't think carbon parse will do it. So let me go here in code and let's see what carbon offers. So carbon, create from format, get days, get weekdays, weekend days, starts has format, no, none of that. Singular unit, no, tomorrow. What if I just grab today's date? If I grab today's day of the week, somehow compare it to the number that I have. That sounds complicated. No. I think I started again. Yeah, if I do now, the thing is, if I do now, that gives me today, right? But I need to take a day of the week and turn it into a date. And that's what, actually, let's see if ChatGPT has something. I'm going to take this window off here and let's do chat OpenAI. How can I turn a day of the week into a date using carbon PHP? Huh. Okay. So it's telling me to do this. I do carbon now. And I put that in current date, right? Carbon not found. Jesus. Use illuminate support carbon. I didn't even read this error in the first time. Yeah, that's using 0 just goes to 1970, so that's not gonna work. So let's do current date. So I get the current date, and then day of week equals carbon. No, that's not gonna work. I have a number. No, okay, I probably have to explain ChatGPT better. The day of the week is a number, not a string. Huh, really? So day of the week, number, then current date, carbon now, and then the date is carbon, current date copy, set ISO date, current date, year, week. That's interesting. Now check this out. Actually, I'm not looking at chat right now. Hold on. No, yeah, I understand that I can create a day of the week as a string from today's date. But the problem is that what I have in the appointment table is just a day of the week as a number. Let me show you. I think that's how it's working. Not the schedule. Is it the schedule? Yeah. Schedule, sorry. So this is what I'm working with. It's just a number as the day of the week. I probably would have made it a lot easier if this was a string, but I made it difficult for myself. So what I have is a number. So what I need to do is take that number and turn that number into a date. Not a day of the week, not a string of the day of the week, just a normal date, so that I can pass that into the date picker on the appointment when I'm editing an appointment. Editing a schedule, sorry. Was it a schedule? So yeah, in the appointment, for example, I'm editing an appointment and that appointment was for a specific date. What is going on here? It's not even... Now I'm confused. Okay, yeah, so the problem is that the appointment doesn't have a date. The appointment grabs the date based on the slot's schedule. And the slot schedule doesn't have a date anymore. So yeah, that's I'm in the right path. Oh my, Amit, you are a genius. I don't need a week map. I have an enum. I have an enum class with the days of the week. And I can use getLabel to get the week. Yeah. Oh my God. I've been going around in circles. Check this out. So if I do, let's just use app enums days of, what's the name? The week. And then I do days of the week get label, get label. I don't have let's say Monday. What do we get with that? Monday name. There you go. So that gives me the day of the week. Yeah, I totally forgot about the enum too. I mean, like, I made it and I forgot about it. So now I can do carbon parse. Probably can do this. Yeah, that works. It actually gives me the next instance. So if since I'm on Sunday right now, that gives me next Monday. Is that gonna work? I don't think that's gonna work. I'm creating an appointment, but I'm not creating an appointment for Monday, for any Monday. I'm creating an appointment for a specific Monday. I hadn't thought about this. We need a date in the appointment now. I was basing the date of the appointment previously on the schedules, on the slot schedule's date, but now that's gone. And the schedule is only for one day of the week. But if I'm making an appointment for specific Monday, then I need a specific date. The date that I selected previously. So now I have to have a date on the appointment. And you know what that means? That means a new migration. PHP, sorry, artisan, make migration update appointments table. Let me bring this back to another line, kind of a long line. Update appointments table, add date column. I should do it right. Appointments. I always check for typos because appointment is a kind of a difficult word to type for me. Appointments. I think that's good. So yeah, you're totally right. I can't do it for appointments. I'm fine with that with schedules, because for schedules, you only need to define the schedule for a specific day of the week. Otherwise, doctors would have to create schedules for every single date moving forward for eternity. So day of the week makes sense for schedules, but not for appointments. And the problem was that, as I mentioned before that, I had a date in the schedule, and that's the date I was using for the appointment. But now that changed. So I need a date, a string date on the appointment. All right, let's go into code. Man, I don't think we're going to get to the doctor's panel today again. Maybe we can. I mean, there's still time. If you start only a day of the week, how do you know which week or day of the year it refers to? Yeah, for appointments, again, it doesn't work. For appointments. For schedules, yeah. For appointments, not so much. That's a bit of unintended consequences of making one thing better, but breaking everything else. Day of the week, appointment resource. What was I doing here? I'm not gonna need a default. I'm so sorry. I'm getting a call in my phone. My phone is my camera and now it's vibrating. I hope it's not... Hold on. There you go. I apologize for that. I sent my comment while you were going around in circles. So I was trying to help. And you are indeed helpful. I apologize if I actually had ChatGPT trying to help me out here. And I should rely on you guys more, not AI. But yeah, I understand. Thank you. It would be nice if you can make a tutorial on how to create chart widgets with data that came from the database, also multiple columns, date range and selections, etc. That's an excellent suggestion. Thank you, Sebastian. You're absolutely right. Stay tuned. I don't know if... yeah, no. Definitely going to do that. Thank you. So... appointments at date column. So we are going to take the appointments table. We are going to create a new date column, which has to be nullable for now, but we are going to make it required on the resource. So table date, that's going to be the type, and then the name can also be date. You know what? Let's not make it nullable. Let's just make it a default. Make that a default. Or what's the default for now? Yeah, I know. I actually used Copilot for like 30 days on a trial. Didn't help a lot, to be honest. It was mostly getting in the way. But I guess it's going to get better. Or it was probably me not being used to an AI giving me suggestions. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was not a great... It wasn't a good experience for me, to be honest. Not worth the subscription. There you go. That should do it. Thank you. And right here, I'm going to do table drop column date. The new chat feature that's coming up. Copilot has a chat feature now, and it's going to be in VS Code. Again, yeah, could be helpful. I mean, it's getting better every day. Obviously, AI is going to get better every day at giving better suggestions. And I would consider it in the future. But for now, I'm good. I go to ChatGPT occasionally, and sometimes it gives me good suggestions. So let's run this. Now let's go to the appointment resource And this date picker date now is going to be tied to the model, the appointment model. But let's not forget that the appointment model needs a date as fillable. Oop. Use current. So now it's going to... Did it fail though? That's an easy check. Let's try it and tinker. No, it now worked. It actually worked. All of the appointments now have a specific date. Use current will use whatever date the record was created. Oh. Okay. Let's roll it back then. That's actually better. PHP artisan migrate rollback. Wow. Update appointments table, add date. You mean use it here or like use current? Like so? Or instead of using default? Yeah, right there. Let's see how that does. Ooh, that's not good. Cannot add not null column with default value null. So apparently get use current. Set the timestamp column to use current timestamp as default value. Yeah, why didn't that work? That's strange. I'm gonna try this out just for testing. Okay, that worked. If I go into Tinker, did that make them all? No. So I don't know why use current is not really working in this scenario. It should based on the comments, but I mean in the suggestion, but apparently not. I'm good with setting the date to the current date instead of the date that the record was created, because I can just go in and edit it. Okay, so with that, date still doesn't have a value here. come on. Doesn't want to have a value apparently. Let's try. What if I just edit now? If I set the date, Jane Doe, 10:30, and I save it. If I go back and edit, it's still not showing up. And the slot is showing up here, which I don't like. Maybe you have to change the date to timestamp. Well, what happened when I did that change on one of the appointments? See, if it's okay if it has a default value, just so that I don't make it nullable right away. But I edited one and set it to this, which is the date that I wanted, but now the resource is not picking that up for some reason. Go back to the resource real quick. Date picker, make date, require live. I think I know what the problem is. Probably because we are the date picker probably is expecting a carbon instance as the date, and I am not casting that column as a date. So let's try date, casting the date as date. Is it date or daytime? Probably date. So if I do that and then refresh, it's not doing it. Let's try date time. Didn't do it either. Can I see the column value? Yeah, I can see the column value. If I had a column here, appointment resource, table. Actually, yeah, there it is. There's the date, but the form is not picking that up for some very strange reason. Sortable, yeah, let's not make it a batch. That looks weird. What happens if I don't make it native? Nope, that doesn't work. Let's force it then. Default. Let's just go with record. Year, month, date. Really don't like doing that, but ooh. Nope. Oh, sorry. So another thing that you're suggesting is to change the date to a timestamp. So that'll be in the table column, right? Let's try that. At this point, anything goes. So let's roll it back. Change date to timestamp. Default is fine. Play save, yeah. Migrate. Go back here. Reload. Still not showing anything. What if I select something? 25th. Doctor in slot. There's the date. Still working on the table. Not working here. Wow, this is really, really strange. Hello, Alejandro. How you doing, man? I'm here just debugging stuff. How's your day? How's your weekend? I don't use React. I tried to get into it. I couldn't. I don't know. Something about the syntax and the formatting of the components. I stayed with Vue, but yeah, I don't really use React. Let's see. Form builder. Text. That's a text. No, that's a date time picker. Sorry. Storage format. You may customize the format of the field, that is when it's saved. I don't need that. I don't need time zones. I'm using the JavaScript date picker. I don't care. Let's okay. Display format. It's not displaying anything, but still. Let's just go through the motions. I don't like that. Okay, we did that. Let's keep reading. Intervals, I don't care about that. First day of the week, I don't need that. Starts on Monday. Disabled dates, no. Already have that in place. Auto completion, adding effects, using an icon, validation, nothing. I could check in the after state hydrated just to see the value. Make sure that the value is coming in. Let's do that. I actually have it here as a function. Let me just grab. No, that's after state updated. Sorry. After state hydrated. Let's grab the state. And let's just DD. Not date, state. Try composer dump autoload. I'll try that in after I see the value here. I just want to make sure that I have a value for the field. I have an extra window here I want to close. Hold on. It's throwing me off. All right. See, it's coming in no. That's weird. Why is the resource? Okay. It doesn't hurt. Still, I don't have a value. I don't have a state value for the appointment date, even though there is a date here and it has a value. This is completely bananas. Date picker make date. All right, let's try. At this point, I'm trying everything. Who knows? Maybe this was fixed in a recent release. And I'm just banging my head against the wall. Nope. All right, so you don't have a state. Is it coming in the record? Yes, it's a carbon instance. Still a carbon instance? What's going on here? Oh, Jesus. The resource is not connecting the date. The resource is not making a connection in the state variable. What happens if I make just a form component, just a text input? Why not? Oh, come on. There you go. Will it show it there? Clinic ID after state of date. That sets the date to no. Yeah. Well. Oh. Right. Oh my god, you're a genius. Stop the DD, stop the DD. Where did I put the D? Right here. Ah, default. Take this off. See, no, it was a great idea. The thing is, it only works if you change the value, not when you load the form. Shouldn't be setting the date to null on display. But it was a great idea, though. I thought that was it. Open hydrate. Let me try something. What if I just add a text? I just want to add a text field, see if that one connects to the state. Yeah, no, the default is not working at all. In the edit page, the live method makes it so that it is constantly checking the state of the input, and that's required if you are, for example, if the date depends on the clinic. So the clinic is constantly updating its record and checking for its state, and then if I make the date dependent on the clinic, without live it doesn't work. So live is just constantly checking the state of the input, as far as I understand it. If you want to make an input or something in your form constantly re-updating itself, well, yeah. You make it live and then it's constantly just checking for new values, but it's not updating its state though. This after state updated only fires when you actually make a change. I don't think the live method is actually interfering here. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna save this and then go back to the form, reload. Now I have 2 dates and it's still coming in empty. Why is it that the resource appointment is not showing, it's not connecting to the date column? It's just, it doesn't want to connect to the date column. And I don't think it has something to do with the column name. I mean, that's crazy. It's so weird that it just broke. It used to work. When we had the schedules and we had the date for the schedules, that it was never a problem. It was only a problem until we added a column to this date, to this resource, and try to connect that to the form, but it's just not. Let's just test something. Let's disable this live thingies, at least for those two. Same thing. See, if I don't have it live and I make a change here, then neither the doctor or the slots are going to pick up on that change. That's the problem. Take that away. Take that away. On comment. And on comment. So strange. And I'm sorry if I can't figure it out right now. Unfortunately, this just ate up all of my time. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to figure this out this session, and I deeply apologize for that and for the problems that I had at the beginning. I'm not going to hijack you anymore for this problem. I'm probably going to have to figure it out on my own during the week, and then I'm going to share it with you in the Discord server and in the comments of this live, and I'll share a solution. I'm sure I can figure it out. I just don't want to spend the next 2 hours just figuring out what the problem is. So yeah, I really appreciate everyone for coming today, even though it wasn't the best live of them all. But I really appreciate you coming. And again, we didn't get to do all of the things that we wanted to do, but I promise that next week is going to be way more productive than this one. And I'm going to keep working on this bug. I will figure it out, and I'll let you know what the solution was. All right? So thank you everyone for coming. If you like the stream, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next one.